Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm going to be talking about memory. The definition of memory is the retention of information. Memory includes knowing how to do things like riding a bike, or recalling facts about things you've learned about, or experiences that you've had in life. Each day, there are a lot of things going on, and it's easy to forget small details or things that you were supposed to get done. Epicus did a study on memory and created tests in order that one could find ways to improve memory. Everyone at some point has had that feeling when something is like right at the tip of your tongue, but you keep fumbling the words that you want to say, or you completely lose your train of thought. Sometimes it can be frustrating, and in these instances, you can often recall certain letters of the word, but you cannot fully remember and put the word together. Memory is not an all or nothing thing. How someone tests you on memory could help you remember recalling events, or it could help you to struggle to remember things. There are several main methods for testing memory. One is free recall, which is when to recall something is to produce a response as you do on essay tests or short answer tests. Next is crucial recall, which is when you're told hints about information to help jog back your memory. The third method is recognition of this test memory by having a multiple choice option. People normally recognize more items than they recall. Then there is savings method. Sometimes it is also called relearning method. In this method, weak memories are detected by comparing the speed of the original learning to the speed of relearning. It is easier to relearn things you forgot than to have a completely new list of information to remember. Normally, as you start to try to remember the information that you forgot, it normally will come back to you. And each of the methods of the test are direct memory, which means to state a response as a product of memory. But there's also indirect memory. This is when you experience things and how you react even though you might not be aware of the influence it has. Next is short-term memory and long-term memory. Information processing theory separates short-term memory, which is temporary storage of events, and long-term memory, which is a relatively permanent store. There are two types of long-term memory. These are cinematic memory for principles and facts, and there's episodic memory for specific events that happen. Episodic memories are more fragile than cinematic memories. For example, if you played soccer for years, you will most likely remember all the rules, but you might forget exactly one of the games that you played. People often remember cinematic memories but forget episodic memory of when or where you learned it. One of the main differences between short-term memory and long-term memory is capacity. Long-term memory is almost impossible to measure. It goes on for a long time, while short-term memory is limited. You can only remember a certain amount of information within a certain amount of time. For example, if you're given a list of information, like a list of numbers, to memorize in a certain amount of time, you most likely will be able to remember some of them, but you probably won't remember all of them. One way to improve short-term memory is by chunking. This means grouping things into meaningful sequences. At first, psychologists thought of short-term memory as a way to store something as the brain moves it into long-term memory, thinking that you gradually consolidate memory. Consolidation does happen, but not all short-term memories turn into long-term ones. Research shows that it is just a temporary way of storing memory in the moment. They call this working memory, which is a system for working with current information. It includes information you use and then forget, like studying for a test. Once it is complete, you often forget the answers. It also includes the executive functioning that governs and shifts attention. Good working memory can shift attention to different things. For example, hearing a list of objects and having to shift back and forth between listening to a new word and repeating something from memory. People who are good at this have a high capacity working memory. Although researchers cannot clearly state what memory is, they agree about what it is not. It is not a single place in which things get dumped into and taken out later. But we do know that memory is reliant on the type of information memorized and its relationship to past memories, the methods of testing, and the recency of the events. Memory is not one process, but many.